What's up, world? It's your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to another episode, late night edition, talking hoops in the ship. Man, late night edition. I'm excited, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of people be hitting us up, man. When y'all can go back on the show, we back. We back tonight, and so we got the late night edition. I got my guy Corey Jones. I don't know what's wrong with his camera. He looking like he just blacked out up there, and then we
On
got
blacked out. On blacked out.
it
Can't
looked
see
like
me.
it, and then we got the easy one. He looked like he on vacation in
Hey,
at a Airbnb somewhere.
hey, Ed, I got the cigar. You got the mansion. What
Yeah.
we doing, man?
So we got
We
that.
chilling.
But before we get going, as we say, this show is brought to you by Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located at 124 East of Meat Street in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Wade are real lawyers who get real results. I say if you want to get paid, get Tatum and Wade. What you go to Tatum and Wade. Listen, what I want you to do right now is hit your share button. Make sure you share with everybody. I see people popping on. Go ahead and share. I need uh, my live streamers, my talkers. Go ahead and just check in with me. Let me know you're on. Go ahead and make comments. We got questions. This show is just really we're gonna talk about a lot of different things. Just it's kind of wide open. Barbershop talk tonight. We're gonna talk transfer portal. We're gonna talk AU. We're gonna talk parents. We're just gonna go with the flow tonight. So get ready, strap on. Uh, at the end of the day, our job is not to offend anybody. So if we've ever offended any of you, we apologize. This is not gonna be a show where we talk about anybody on purpose. We just gonna, you know, just talk and have fun and talk about basketball. What's going on? Let's talk about this. I was looking at this. Obviously, most of you know I'm a college head coach at the W Division Three, Mississippi University for Women, located in Columbus, Mississippi. Listen, some of y'all players, y'all still need spots. I got a spot for you, so holler at your boy. So I just want to throw that out there. But here's the thing I was looking at today as I was, in my office looking at today. Man, so many Eddie transfer portal is crazy. Thousands of kids who've gotten in. Transfer portal is now closed, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that and what that really means. So let me start off, and then you guys just jump in, uh, whenever you want to. Transfer portal. Here's the thing: it's really for a while, coaches could get up and leave for years, could get up and leave whenever they wanted to. And so, but kids didn't have that same opportunity. And a lot of times, people are saying, oh man, look at all these kids getting in the portal, but nobody's really talking a lot about how coaches are telling them to get into the portal. Because really what they did was they misevaluated them. They didn't evaluate them properly. And so they're saying, hey, you might as well get in because we're going out to recruit you. Everybody's talking about this NIL, the Wild Wild West, free agency every year. And the NCAA is going to have to, get a handle on it. I don't, I'm not a, the NCAA to me has not been fair to our athletes. So a lot of our athletes are getting over the years, they're getting now to me what they deserve. And I know a lot of people think that the scholarship is enough and all of that. I disagree because I think they uh, should have always been able to benefit from all the revenue sharing and all like that. But anyway, we're going to get back to this, transfer portal. I think that the portal right now, as we look at it, um, let's talk about one phase of it. Let's talk about high school recruiting. We'll go down that uh, that rabbit hole per se, and then you guys can chime in. High school recruiting has changed now. It is not like it's ever been. The college coaches are not taking a lot of high school players. They're taking the top high school players, but it's a win now society. You have people who are losing their jobs. They want. I want to say somebody recently. Y'all help me out. want to say either won a national championship or conference championship, and 2 years later they got fired. So it's a win now mentality, and most coaches, Rick Pitino, a legend, has come out and said that he's going after transfer people. For just to give you an example of somebody, he doesn't think a high school kid, even at the 5-star level, can help him. So he's going to go out to get kids who've uh, been through the trenches through a year, and it's really the high school kids have taken the biggest hit. Tell me your thoughts on that, Eddie. Someone's been in the game, the easy one, Eddie Young, been around. I call him the GOAT of girls grassroots basketball here in Mississippi, and the easy one court. Darius Jones, both from All In to All In North directors, Central director, just directors, just been around this grassroots games, helped a lot of kids get in school. Talk to us a little bit about Eddie and Corey. Y'all can, how the transfer portal has impacted the high school recruiting, or do you feel it has?
Hey, first of all,
Well,
Eddie need to change his background. He's sucking into the couch. He's in a mansion. He's living a life. He's the director of Mississippi All, and he the best director in the world. He might want to change it back because you don't want nobody to rob you, do you, Eddie? You don't want nobody to
no,
rob you, do
no,
you?
no. Hey, one thing I say about my neighborhood, Court, I'm just gonna be honest with you. By the time you turn down the street, so first of all, shout out to Jason Thompson, the great Jason Thompson, head coach at Olive Branch, the legend. You could argue one of the greatest high school basketball coaches, girls or boys, in the country. Uh, Definitely in the state of Mississippi. He got me, Jason Thompson, hooked me up, Cord, with a security system, state of the art, brother. It's gonna be like
Mm,
4 months trying to get. I'm gonna tell you this: if you come in my house, if you decide to come in my house, the alarm system is so loud, it's gonna wake up every single person in the neighborhood. And I live out here with a lot of rednecks, and all these rednecks out here by me they don't have one gun, they don't have two guns, they
plenty
got a
of
lot of,
them.
they got plenty of them. So if you come out here and you run up in my house, if that alarm clock, I'm just telling you, the alarm that he got me set up with, state of the art. Shout out to Jason Thompson. I got cameras everywhere. It's like Fort Knox. So you can decide to come to some. If you want to come in here, that's fine. But I ain't gonna end like you wanted to end. But anyway, let me just say this, man. Um, I hear some college coaches say I can't win with freshmen. And I think it's two parts to that. One, a lot of eligibility has been awarded to kids who since COVID. COVID changed a lot of this stuff. And so you've got a lot of kids who are 23, 24 years old who are competing against incoming freshmen. So in that regard, I do agree with the fact that it's kind of tough on those 18-year-old kids. But for some of these coaches, and once we get through all of this extra eligibility stuff, which I think we're probably pretty much at the end of that now, it's going to get back to where, you know, kids are going to be 3 to 4 freshmen are going to be, playing against kids that are 3 or 4 years older versus kids that are 24 and, you know, damn near can file for their social security. But some of them, I mean, I don't know how some of these kids still got. I mean, there's some kids that still got 2 years, and COVID has kind of contributed to a lot of that. But let me stay on track and let me just say this: um, some of the college coaches who are alluding to I can't win right now with freshmen is baloney, because it was just a few years ago where freshmen were coming, being one and done on the boys' side, right, Cord?
Hmm.
19-year-old boys playing 1 year of college and going and being top 10 NBA picks. That ain't been that long ago, right? Um, so I just don't get. I don't particularly agree with it. Um, and again, who am I? That's just my opinion. I still think that you got to have the right balance of high school kids, the right balance of kids with experience. But if I believe if you cast all your eggs just on older kids, or you hit the portal and you win right now, I just don't. I think it's hard to build, build a program in the future. And I know that I hear the coaches say, I don't care if they 4-star, 5-star, McDonald's All American. That's the part that's belonging to me because UConn got a girl named Sarah Strong that won the national damn championship for them. You understand what I'm saying? That contributed as a freshman. Back in the day, Core might maybe before your time, EV will remember them. The Fab Five started 5 freshmen at Michigan.
Hmm.
There was a lot
But,
of
but
teams.
let me say this, and let me jump in here. But I think those are the elite players. We're talking about now the not so elite players. Those are obviously everything. Everybody you're talking about are top 20 kids, no brainers. They can play. But what about that kid at 98,
But see,
99, or some of
but
those kids that don't even make the top 100?
but see, this is the thing though, Ev. It's starting to become like once you grabbing these kids at the transfer. Now, listen, it's pros and cons to it. It's good, it's bad, it's the ugliest. You raising up a championship trophy in your conference or whatever. But them high school kids, more of them will stay loyal. I think if you grabbing some of them that's kind of that's outside of the 100, you groomed them, they sat on the bench. Now, don't get me wrong, it is some that just following that trend too. So how do you play that? I think it need to be stipulations on it. I think we need to go back to, I ain't gonna lie, man. We probably need to go back to you sit out a year if you transfer. Some got to be done because it's getting a little wild to me now. I know the college coach, some of them, a lot of them are benefiting from it. You got to do what you gonna do that's gonna work because everybody doing it. But it's getting a little wild, wild west out here. That's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
and I agree, Core. Even with it's obviously affecting high school recruiting tremendously. There were college coaches that I know you and I have relationships with, as well as EV, who told us that they wasn't coming out in the first live period because they got kids that they grabbed out the portal and they got visits and stuff. And so when they got kids on campus, they can't even come out and evaluate the high school kids. And I just say this too. I just think that I'm not against the portal. But I do. I'm a lot like you, Court. I think there should be some sort of restrictions to it. But more importantly, I just don't think you can win long term if you're trying to build a program with saying I'm not going to recruit no high school kids. I just don't understand how that's going to be good for you long term. I
Because
know.
that's gonna be your kid when you bring them in. All they know is the first time you hit that college atmosphere and that college practice. That's your kid. You taught them all the things they know when they know about college when they first hit. They're gonna take that on to if they move on, they still gonna have them same qualities you put in them. I just value that a lot more than picking up a kid. Then next year I pick up another kid because now it's all about. It seems like it's all about the money and it's all about the transaction, and I understand that, but man, I think we done die. I think we done bit off more than we gonna handle. It's gonna only get worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see what you were saying about that. I think that some of the changes. Well, let's look at now. We talked about the problem. Let's see some things. How we can potentially. What are the solutions? Because right now, obviously, it's the Wild Wild West. The reports are they're getting ready to do a revenue sharing, which I've heard different things from different college coaches, and they don't really know what it's going to be about. But it's going to be as simple as the simplest thing that I heard a college coach say is here in the near future. Let's say we'll talk about girls basketball. Guys probably do a little bit more, but we'll just use. They're going to have a pool of money on the basketball side and even on the football side. Let's say basketball, there's $1 million per year. That includes uh, their what's up, Ms. Blanks? That includes their what they call the scholarship money, which they were getting regardless. So people can understand as we transition a little bit from transfer portal to NIL and collective and all of like that, so we can educate a little bit on that. There's what we talk about where, for example, because it's really now a money game, and I'm happy that the kids are able to experience that because my argument has always been Macaulay Culkin, who I really enjoyed watching at 6 years of age on Home Alone. I watched all three of them. They were really funny. Enjoyed them. He was able to get paid at 6 years old. Why can't kids get paid for that? So I've always kind of had that argument. I don't mind. I think I'm glad they're able to get paid. So now, right now, it's been a thing where now, and let's say this. Let's not trick ourselves. Kids have been getting paid all along. Now it's just legal. There's some kids who've been getting paid all along, and now it is just legal. There are people who've gotten in trouble before. It's not a secret, and now they have, had to, I think and you're talking about guys who went to jail, for this.
Hmm.
Look at a guy like Book Richardson. He got a 10-year show cause. Very unfair. They should strip that from him right now. That should be gone away from him. Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy taken from him. I think they gave it back to him, which they should, because now it's a whole new ball game. But so let's now go back. I got to stay on task here. Right now, what's getting ready to happen is in the near future. Let's say they have a some of the bigger schools that have a budget, say, of $1 million. So now your kid, everybody wants to go to the highest level, the Power Four, which is the Mississippi States of the world, the Ole Miss. We have two Power Four schools in our state, and so now, you got Alabama, you got right next to us, you got Tennessee, you got LSU. So everybody wants to go to those schools. Okay. First of all, everybody's not going to go to those schools, and that's okay. But a school like Mississippi State and Ole Miss now will potentially have something like $1 million to now spend on basically their roster. Uh, and so some kids are not going to get, some are going to get more than others, because when that allotted money is gone, it's gone. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, because there's two ways that you can split this up. There's what you call scholarship money and cost of attendance. We'll just call it that, what you're going to get anyway. And so some of that is like, here you got that. So let's say I'm throwing this as a number. Let's say you're getting $20,000 in that total money. So you're going to get that, whether you get NIL or collective or anything, which they're really going to be going away with. But you're going to get that piece of money anyway. Now, what I call your new money? So now you may get another 80,000 in new money. So now your total money is 100,000. And so that's the type of money we're talking about right now. So let's just take a look at that right now. Let's think about this for a moment. There are kids today that are going to leave. It is crazy. It is no reason to go to the pros right now. I'll give you an example. Baylor's guard, Baylor was getting ready to pay them $1.3 million. $1.3 million. This is stuff this is not secret or anything. $1.3 million to sign at Baylor. Utah, out of nowhere, comes and gives him $3 million. His life's changed forever. Whether he makes the NBA or not, he's won the game. And the reason that they did that is because there's a family. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Marriott. I don't know if you've ever stayed in the Marriott. I know people I think, Eddie, they have an Elephant Marriott too, don't they? Where y'all just go out in the jungle and then y'all have a waterfall. They have a special waterfall for you. I think it's called, what is it called? Jumbo Marriott. So anyway, I know you've stayed there before. They gave Utah $10 million to do whatever they want to with it. So they was able to go and buy players. I love it, man. I love that part of it, to be honest with you. And I see young ladies. I know some young ladies who are, people are saying getting overpaid, all of that type of stuff. I'm excited about that. What do you think about that, Eddie? When a kid now can leave school and have possibly $200,000-$300,000 in their bank account.
I think it's awesome, man. I mean, even for the football players who really give their bodies away, these college. I know we're talking hoops in the sip, but when you think about these college football players, that's throwing their bodies around, all of the concussion protocols and things that they're doing for these institutes. For us to go on a Saturday for 3.5 hours and watch them go kill themselves, I think it's very rewarding to see these kids finally get their just due. As far as the basketball players go as well, and all of the other sports, man, I think it's long overdue. To be honest with you, and that part I hope stays. These silly NCAA rules and regulations that they have, that part of it I hope goes away soon and very soon to never return. But as far as that part go, uh, I definitely want to see that. I want Cord to kind of touch on that too. But one thing, Evie, I know we kind of freelancing. I do want to talk about these at some point in the show. I want to talk about these stupid NCAA rules and regulations that they have. When you can talk to a kid, no texting on this particular day. You can't eat a bagel with cream cheese. You can't eat. I know they had that silly stuff, right? All the Johnny Manziel stuff. It's so many silly rules that they have. Go ahead, Cole. Back to our regular schedule
And then
program.
I want to also welcome Gino from
Gino.
YAG in the building. Young and gifted Gino. What up, Gino?
What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Oh, man, doing great. So you can jump in on this too after Cord say anything. What's your thoughts, Cord, on that? And then, Gino, you can tell us your thoughts.
First of all, this cigar is brought to you by, you know, EV gave me the cigar, so that's why I'm smoking.
No, EV didn't give you no cigar.
But nah, nah, relaxing on the grill. But
What you grill? What you grilling tonight?
man, I grilled a couple pork steaks. Nothing too serious. I know a lot of people don't eat pork and all that type stuff, but I do. So a
I
couple
got
pork steaks on the grill. But the money part, I'm cool with the money part. I just think it need to be regulations. I could be wrong, because like EB said, you can be a movie star and get cap money off the top, millions of dollars, and these kids are really talented. But I think when it comes to collegiate sports, I just think to me now, I just think it's watered down. I think it takes the superstar aspect out of it. I don't know a lot of guys. It's just high quality guys on the men's side. I could be wrong because I don't follow it that much. But I remember back in the day, I used to watch guys that just straight out just was hooping to just get to the NBA. And now we got guys that coming in and getting $3 million. They might not even make the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is due their money, true enough. But I just think we need to do something. It's getting a little wild, and and everybody's playing into that. And there's a lot of people that's getting left out, which I'm always for the little guy that's getting left out. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that is. It had to be an expert on all that to come on and talk about that. But a lot of people getting left out because money is being involved, and that's just my opinion.
Hey, let me
Gino, what's your thoughts? And then you can say you jump in, Eddie, after that.
go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead.
uh, I mean, I'm gonna go out with what Cole said last. I mean, unfortunately, it make recruitment and all that. It make it harder, and players are gonna get left out. But on the flip side, I look at it too, like for somebody who may not go to the NBA, I'm finna get X amount of money. Like even though I ain't go to the NBA. I probably been grinding doing this since I was 6 years old, just like everybody else did. But in reality of it, like most of these men and women, they gonna still they gonna have children, they gonna create life and do whatever outside of basketball. So getting the money, if you do it the right way, I feel like you still can kind of like live the American dream. You can still set yourself up for do this for your family, create jobs for other people, if you do it the right way. So I kind of like that aspect of it, the kid getting that money like that.
The question I want to ask though, Gino and Eddie and EB, do the money take away from the classroom with some of these guys? Is they still grinding in the classroom? Is the stipulations on that? Is they getting their grades up to par? Because when I get a lot of money like that, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Let me just be transparent with everybody on here. If I got if a $3 million paycheck came to my hand right now, I'm probably calling in on work. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna call in. I'm probably gonna take FMLA and everything I can take. You know what I'm saying? Every paperwork I can put in to just be off. You know what I'm saying? Because let's just be honest. Do you work as hard? Because I heard that. Do you work as hard with this money? Is it
I
harder for coaches to
absolutely
coach
do,
these
Corey.
kids?
Yeah, you got to, Corey, because at the end of the day, you try and get back. Now, some of them may not. That's here for one and done, but those who gonna be here forever, yeah, you gotta get them grades, get that money. That's part. See, a lot of this stuff now is contracts. That's why you have agents. Yeah, you gotta get them. You gotta get that. You gotta get your grades, man.
Is
Because
that a real thing? Is that a real thing, or do we speculate?
no, it's a real thing. Absolutely. Because
Okay,
everybody ain't going to the league. So the college now is their league. So they got to be eligible. That hadn't changed anything.
true. But if
So
they just say if they cashed out on the money and they say, hey, they flop out on the grades because they got $3 million, you in college. Man, you got to show up for 8 a.m. class. I got $3 million. I make more than the professor do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I make more than some coach. Like I make more than assistant coaches and all that. Is that a thing though?
no, I'm sure they have to deal with that. But I think you with the online classes, they have ways around that. I mean, but kids got to go to class unless now again, if you want it done, like
Yeah, it's different.
yeah, you ain't man, they just trying to
So I
win now.
wonder, like, do they get the money? Like I say, you get $3 million. Do they break that down over a course of a year? So if you
Yep.
did a one and done, I ain't get the full three. I just probably got a portion of it. And what they
No,
got.
no.
Nah,
The
they get
good
the full
agent
thing.
is going to make sure you get all your money. So, like, say for example, the guy from Baylor who got the 3 million from Utah, they probably told him, man, if he had a really good agent, the agent said, hey man, we want 1.5 up front soon as we step on campus, and then we're gonna pay you however much, $50,000 a month. And so there's gonna be stipulation, and so you can't until you're gonna have to get some stuff done. They're gonna work on a good agent gonna say, hey, I want 1.5 up front. So now you got that, and then they're gonna ask for X amount a month, and then they're gonna make sure before once the season's over, you got all your money,
Yeah.
See,
and that's
what
gonna
I'm
happen
afraid,
because
what I'm afraid of is going to happen is that this is about to go to a situation where the highest bidder gets the kid. The agent,
oh,
the
we
agent,
already there.
yeah,
Yeah,
and,
we
and
there
so
now. That's hey. Think about this. Right now, for the first time in years, when it came to, especially on the men's side, basically all the number one seeds made it to the final four. There was no how many March Madness upsets were there this year? The people that paid for the kid, they they won the championship.
and see that's the part to me that I don't like because then it's just like big bank go take the little bank. The person with the most money is gonna control everything. I know money rules the world, but from a fan perspective, if you're a fan, then now if you're a fan of a mid-major school, let's say USM. Let's take USM for example.
Uh-huh.
The chances of USM now getting into the NCAA and winning some games and making it to a Sweet 16 or Elite Eight is gonna come next. Is about to become next to impossible for a couple of reasons. One, if that kid that because one on one hand you say, well, go out and recruit the best kids you can recruit, develop them, bring them in. Well, as soon as those kids start to do really well at USM, the big school's gonna come and poach them, right? So now you can't even keep that kid uh, to have an opportunity because if that kid goes and becomes conference player of the year or first team all conference,
See out of
then
there.
you got the big schools that are coming to and and how can you go against a child who got to look at this like I only got one chance to make this money, and if I'm making less, and I don't know the logistics of NIL money wise, but let's just say at USM that kid got $40,000 or $50,000, but they can go now as a conference all team conference player, first and second team, and let's just say Arkansas Razorbacks or an SEC school comes or ACC school and can offer that same kid $500,000. What you think that kid gonna do? and now their institute has lost their best player. So it's just gonna come down to who got the most money, who got the most resources. That's who gonna get the kid, and then everybody else just so that part of it I don't like. But I'm gonna say this. So no, my words on I absolutely love the fact that these kids are getting paid. I love it. I hope they can get as much money as they can while they're at these institutes. As much money as these institutes have made off of these kids for all of these years. So
Hey,
I
listen,
got
real
a
quick,
question.
real
and
This
this
quick.
my
Hold on 1 second. I want to just say right now, you look and you see the number down there 919-344-5162. 919-344-5162. If you have any questions, anything you want to hear talked about, text me right now. Text me right now. Any questions, any comments, go ahead and text me. Go ahead, Gino.
like they kind of like some similar to what Eddie was saying, but I kind of seen this like what going on. Like even for a Power Five school, take Mississippi State for example, right?
yep.
So they go like do I want to know kind of like do this affect a Mississippi State? Say I go get a kid, I get him X amount of money to a mid-major kid, and he come and he here Mississippi State in the SEC, and Starve jet too small of a city for him. So I'm finna go to the next Power Five school. Like, do that hurt Mississippi State? Like, being a Power Five school like that? Just say it. I don't like it in Starve, so I go to LSU because it's in Baton Rouge. I'm closer to Houston or wherever else like that. I got
mm-hmm.
a bigger outlet I can do when I'm outside of basketball to enjoy my life, you know.
Yeah, because your
Yeah,
agent might
I
push
think
it.
yeah, yeah.
The
The
thing,
agent finna have a lot of power.
yeah, the thing is though, man, I just feel like listen, the NFL need to figure out, man, maybe push it back to be younger to come in the NFL. NBA should let you come out of high school. Um, listen, it just happen. Baseball rules, all that you need to figure out. Baseball seems like they got to figure it out more than everybody. Um, I think everybody else need to figure it out. I know NBA trying, but it ain't looking too good because you done got what NCAA done got their hand on money and dealing with it. I just feel like the NFL, NBA, they need to figure out to let kids in. They want to make that. That's good enough to make their cash right now. Just let them in. If they're gonna get drafted, they're gonna get drafted. NFL, what NFL? 3 years. You can't get into the third year or whatever.
Yeah,
NBA, you gotta go play a year.
yeah, you
Like,
gotta
come
play
on,
a
man.
year. I'm into like now, man. Just like, hey, you want to come in? Let's come in. But I like the fact though, college basketball. Let's just face it. You're getting to keep guys in college now. Basketball is a lot. The college game is a lot more fun to watch because you're keeping kids in, man. Listen,
Is it fun to watch? Is it?
I don't know. I think it is. I mean, I think it's. I've kind of always, and I don't. It's crazy because I spend time a lot of times coaching,
I'm
but
be honest. Right now, top of my head, who won the national championship boys?
Florida.
I didn't listen. I would have to think about that hard. Never, never.
Who won girls?
UConn.
See, you're more invested in the girls. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
you're more invested.
I guess that's something you have to ask the whole America how they feel. I guess. Um, I just feel like the boys. It's a little bit watered down to me. It's like another G League or something. It's just my opinion.
But how can you say that, Corey? You don't even watch it.
I watch a little bit. I used to be a college men's college guy. Like I watch,
Yeah, I
but
know. But you talking about G League and you ain't even watched it. I'm not gonna
Let
let
me
because I don't know. Like
let me ask
so
y'all
so
this.
so off the top of my head, I bet a lot of people like, who won? You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Okay.
Cole.
Now,
Hey,
maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. It could be just me. I'm just saying it could be just me. I'm just saying I keep up with sports pretty good. Uh, it's just my opinion.
I got you. It is your opinion. You're right. You got one. What would you say? What were you gonna say? Easy one.
uh, NBA players, where they got to stay now? I mean, college. 1 year, 2 years? How many years they got to stay in college?
Man, no year. I feel like they 1 year, but I feel like they should be no years.
Okay, but it's 1 year now. Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
1 year. It's 1 year.
Okay.
What is 1 year?
Well, you know,
They-
hey,
but they can take European players that ain't been to college, right?
Yeah, yeah. Wimby can come in anytime. How old was Wimby when he came in? 18 years old.
hey man, JoJo Wilson said, "Court is you. Florida was a great team with
Yeah,
the
they was. Listen, I seen Florida play a couple games. No
Mississippi
lie.
kid. That's exactly right. The young man. What is the Mississippi? Let's JoJo. What's the Mississippi kid name? I know he played at Florida Atlantic last year, and he went. And here's the crazy thing, and I remember this. Coach Larry. Okay, he's doing. I figured that, but I was geeking. I was giving JoJo some props, like she really was on. But I knew it was Larry on JoJo's deal. But here's the thing. The young man that's at North, that's at Florida. I remember I was doing some work at Jackson State, and I was telling him, I said, man,
Hey,
Mark,
EB, make sure this is a short story. Now, don't go into a real long story. Short. Go ahead, man.
anyway, I
The
was
man on no short and sweet.
yeah. So anyway, I was on with him with the cat. God, I can't. Elijah Martin. That's his name. That's his name. Elijah Martin. Thank you, Lord, for putting it back in my head. And I said, man, we need to. Man, I'm telling you, man. Jack State, y'all need to take them because I wasn't at Jack State at the time. But everybody thought EB was crazy. Now the dude is at Florida. But anyway, that's another story. You know, that's common. You know, he wins the national championship, Final Four, Florida Atlantic, and then wins the national championship, Florida. So I digress.
How many NBA superstars they got on Florida team? What NBA superstar they got on Florida team right now?
I don't know the one that is going pro, and that was the boy, and he wasn't projected. Walter, somebody to guard, but he's now getting projected to be an NBA. I will say this, man. I agree with you on this court. I don't watch the college like boys like I used to. I don't watch the college girls as much because a lot of times I'm trying to focus in on what I got right now. But it's not. It seems like you know, it's not. I don't know. You don't have the household names like you used to. Walter Clayton Jr. That's his name.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
No how like
I can get with you on that. Who's your favorite college player, Eddie? And then we're gonna move off this boy. Boys, give me your boys' favorite college player. Then give me your girls.
I have two. I can't give you one. Chris
Okay.
Jackson, LSU.
Chris who?
Chris Jackson.
No,
oh,
no,
he
we're
talking
talking
about
about
legend.
today,
He
man.
talking about
We're not talking
legendary
about
stuff.
when you was born. We're talking about today.
I don't know, man. I like Josh Hubbard today.
Okay. Josh Hubbard, Mississippi
Trey,
State.
Trey Ford. Those are my two favorite. Trey Ford, Josh Hubbard.
And
Shout out
think
to Trey
about
Ford. Trey Ford's headed to Michigan State. Shout out to my nephew, head to Tom Izzo, Michigan State.
See how he picking home, like he picking folks he know, right?
yeah, but
Man,
think about this. Let's talk
I don't
about
really
that.
know. I don't really know a whole lot of college. I'm just be honest with you. I mean,
man, listen, I grew up on the college. I knew you when I used to watch the draft, I knew almost the whole draft.
Think
yeah.
about this though. This is how the game works. And shout out, I'm into shout out to Josh Hubbard as well. Josh Hubbard, all-time leading scorer. And then shout out to Trey Ford. Man, Trey Ford, at the end of the day. Now, these are facts, so I'm gonna put these facts out here. And this is not, you can try to take it negative if you want. And I want to shout out Jerry Ford. You know, obviously everybody knows, you know, Josh's dad, Jason, who is super involved in Josh's life. Shout out to both of those fathers. Now, I want to talk about Jerry a little bit because Jerry Ford, as far as people were concerned, was like, man, he was too hands-on. He was this. They was transferring schools every year, da 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 da. But at the end of the day, Trey Ford went to every school you can imagine. But at the end of the day, he signed a 7-figure deal at Michigan State. My hats are out. Salute to you, Jerry Ford. You are like, man, listen, you got it done. I don't care if Trey played. Think about this. Trey played in the last 8 years. Now, this is no exaggeration. He played at 8 different schools, but he's making 7 figures. His life will never be the same. So let me ask you guys this: would you take that same path if it was going to get you land you a set? And when I say 8 different schools, I'm including high school. But for 7 figures, I say it's a win-win. My hat's off to him. And he was there. And wherever Trey was, his daddy was there. And
let me just say this, because a lot of people know I'm really close to Trey and the family and Jerry. And I'm probably gonna be biased because I know him personally. And all he was a guy who really loved his son and wanted what's best for his son. In a lot of instances, he was protecting his son.
Right.
I can't say that every decision was a good decision, because it's all a learning curve as you go through this recruiting process. But I'll say this to a lot of the parents and fathers who are involved, heavily involved, like Jason Hubbard and Jerry, and even down to some of the high school parents that we're dealing with now today. And I know I don't want to jump too far ahead, even, because I know we're going to talk about these parents.
Uh-huh. We'll say, you know what? We'll segue into the parents right now. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. There's a really thin line between supporting, loving your child, giving them every resource to make them be successful, and not crossing over that line to where you can delay your blessing. Because Trey was the talent. Let's just be honest. Would you agree? Trey is a pro. I said it years ago. And I'm not going to get into the political stuff that happened in Mississippi State. I'm not going to even touch on that tonight. We're going to try to keep this show. We ain't trying to get nobody. We try to get no calls after the show tonight. So I'm not going to touch that. But I will say this. I think parents I give Joe Kelly a lot of credit as a parent. I've said Joe Kelly of the Kelly girls, Jalea and Fran Kelly, as being one of the greatest parents, because he take 2 kids. And I didn't know this until recently. That wasn't really even good basketball players when they were younger. He's developed them and trained. And I like people who've taken kids that wasn't good and trained them and made those kids good. Those girls got a great work ethic. The Josh Hubbards, the Trey Forts. One thing that's consistent with all of the kids that's successful is they have a good work ethic. But this is even for Joe Kelly. Once you've done your job as a parent and you've gotten your kid to a situation where they're going to get a college scholarship. We know nowadays you're going to get money for that. If you get the right scholarship, even at the low majors or the JUCO, at the Division Ones, SWACs and MEACs and all that, you're still going to get stipend. You're going to get money, and there's a lot of opportunities for your child. You have done your job as a parent once you've done that, and once you've done it, kick your feet up, enjoy the ride, and then trust the process, and then trust the people that's surrounding your child, because you can't be everywhere with you can't be so hands-on and micromanage that situation to the point to where eventually it starts to hurt your child. And I think I see that a lot of times with parents. Go ahead, V. You wanted to jump in on that, or?
Man, I'm just itching to jump in. That's that right there, Eddie. You said a lot. And here's the thing that the parents have to do is, and this is what I want to say. Joel Embiid, when he was with the Sixers, everybody talks about trust the process. I hate that phrase got started because it's the wrong phrase for me. The right phrase is trust God and then endure the process and really try to enjoy the process. Just work through the process, because it is a process. And the thing is, and even as great, and we're making this clear, and see, this is I'm going to go ahead and make this statement. As great, like the people that we've mentioned are not good parents. They're great parents. But what makes them even better is the times they can come out and speak and learn from their mistakes. The times where, like you said, you can get too involved. You have to allow the biggest thing, and I've heard this from every parent. I'm a parent. I got 5 children, so I'm included. So I'm talking about me. Man, everybody touch themselves and say he's talking about him. So you got to allow your kids to go through adversity, and you have to allow your kids to fail. And you can't make excuses for your kids when they fail. Oh man, it was this, the coach didn't give the ball enough. Well, you got this, you got that. No, it's okay. Man, Steph Curry went 1 for 14 in the game. It's okay, because when you do that, what happens is you get to any level. I'm at the Division III level as a coach. I had 16 girls on my team. And the 16th man on my team this year felt that she should play. She should get minutes. And she hadn't proven herself in practice. I had one of the craziest things happen to me, because it happened. So I'm going to mention, I'm not going to call any names, but I had one of the craziest things happen to me this year after a game, a tough game, what I lost. And these are some things that needs to just, and I'm not tripping. Everybody say EV ain't tripping. But after a tough game, Eddie, one of my players, my best player, got injured, didn't play the last 10 minutes of the game. We still fought against the number 1 team in the conference. We were playing well at this time. We were rolling, had a chance. She had 13 points in 12 minutes when she got hurt. We ended up losing, I think, by 14. Still was in the game. After the game, after I've just a hard fought game, I'm sitting down on the chair getting ready to go to the locker room. And I had a parent come to me as the boys are coming out and said to me, "Hey man, I've been to the last couple of games. My daughter ain't got off the bench. She ain't played them. What's up?" I said, "Sir, probably right now is not a good time for me to answer that. Give me 24 hours and I'll respond to that." No, you can talk to me now. I said, "No, just give me 24 hours. It's not good. I respect you too much for that." But that was something where I had never experienced that in 30 years of coaching.
You know what it is, though, EV? Parents don't have a realistic assessment of where their kids are. I run a largest youth program in the state of Mississippi, one of the biggest in the country, and I get calls all the time about, and this is rec league, man. I mean, little Johnny, my child's better than him. He's playing the other kid more. My kid. It's just the truth of the matter. We don't really see, very few of us now really see our kids for who they really are. And we always make the excuses. Always the coach's fault. It's the director's fault. It's always somebody else's fault, but it's never the child's fault as to what they don't get. And I just think that parents need to just, relax and chill, because there's not a coach in America. Gino ain't never went into a game, or no high school coach or middle school coach said, "You know what? Here's a great." Oh, you didn't, EV. You didn't start that game and say, "You know what? I got a great strategy today. Let's throw the damn scouting port away. Let's throw the damn game plan out the window. Well, here's a great idea. We ain't gonna play the damn kid tonight. This kid can help us win games, but we ain't gonna play the kid." No coach in the history of basketball has never not played a kid who can help them, especially at your level, EV, because at your level, you got to win, because that's your livelihood. You understand what I'm saying? College coaches, high school coaches got to win to keep their job. And if there's a kid that can help that team win, coach, you ain't never not played a kid because, this kid should be a starter. But you know what? Man, I just woke up this morning, man, had a good breakfast, and I ain't going to play this kid today just because I ain't got nothing else better to do. That drives me crazy, man. And so parents don't understand their role. Sometimes they're too involved. Um, but before y'all say this, I do have to shout out one set of parents before, and then I'm gonna go on back on mute. Sanaya Murray, parents Shannon and Sam Murray, to me, are some of the greatest parents that I've ever been a part of. For a lot of reasons. But I'm just gonna touch on a couple of things, Cord. Gino, these folks several years ago, before their child became a really good basketball player, one thing they did is they trusted God, trusted the process, or as Evie said, endured the process. And they didn't waver on all of the stuff that went around them. Uh, they didn't go and leave high school when things got tough for Sanaya. When things got tough in the program and AAU program with us, they didn't up and say, let me go jump ship. They've had, let's just be honest. Sanaya Murray can play on any AAU team in the country right now. She's the hottest prospect, 6'4". I ain't even got to introduce her. I mean, most people who know anything about basketball know who she is. She's not only one of the top prospects in Mississippi, she's probably the top 5 court, and stop me if I'm wrong, hottest prospect maybe in the country right now. She went from unranked with no stars to 25 in the country on ESPN rankings. She's gonna be on every publication in the country. Um, man, but the parents been solid. You know what I'm saying? The parents ain't got caught up in the glitz and the glamour. The parents ain't got caught up in the other stuff that a lot. And I'll be honest with you, and people can get mad. And here's the one thing I'm gonna go left on tonight. And it's my only one that I'm going left on, Evie, I promise you. I don't have the confidence to say that 90% of the parents in my program, in our program, wouldn't have jumped to see if the grass was greener. You know what I'm saying, Cord? Like, there's a lot of people who would have jumped, and a lot of people who would have left, and a lot of people who would have tested the water. You hear, I got to get it out of my system, man. I got to go do this. Or, the lights are brighter on this, so I got to go do this. But they stayed true and they trusted us, man. I just wanted to throw that out there and give them a shout out. Some of the greatest parents, they show unbelievable humility. They know what they got in their daughter. They know she can be a phenomenal player. And with Sanaya, and I'm done after this, EV. As talented as she is, and with all the upside she got, they know that she got a lot of work to do from a mental standpoint. Physically, she's got to get better. And I just admire them. I admire our relationship. But more importantly, them just staying true to who they are and being parents. You understand what I'm saying? Sam and them ain't hollering at the damn game court while I'm coaching or Gabe's coaching and telling you what to do, get back on defense. If you're a parent and you in the stands, you'll never hear them holler out, coaching their kid from the sideline. Just this last weekend, man, I saw kids leaving in the middle of the game, going and talking to their parents in the middle of the game. Like, I'm not talking about at a free throw. Man, while the game is going on, they sitting over there talking to their parents. Man, I'm back on mute, man.
Gino, you or Corey got something to add to the parent etiquette?
Yeah, he said it. He said it all. He said basically all of it. Parents gonna listen to that, and they gonna take it with a grain of salt, because don't nobody do no wrong. Parents don't do no wrong. That's what they think in their head. That's their child. But at the end of the day, when that child becomes 21 and the ball start bouncing and the crowd start cheering, and that boss tell them, "Hey, I ain't paying you this week because you ain't perform, or you didn't get your paycheck for some reason, or um you didn't pay your taxes, or they still in their corner, but ain't nothing you can do for them, because at the end of the day, they gonna have to speak for themselves, and you gonna protect your child. That's natural. But we talking about basketball. Let them grow. Let them go through some growing pains, especially if you got elite kid. You're elite kid out there playing, and like it means just let the process happen. Because at the end of the day, if they don't get the Power 4 scholarship they want, they didn't got the other schools. they still got a chance to prove themselves. They in a better spot than a lot of other kids, but people don't see it that way. They see it like they always want the higher. What's higher?
That's it
What's on
right
top?
there, Court. That's it right there. It's like a damn high. I ain't never done drugs, but I heard once you get a high, you want a better high. You want to, that
Yeah,
part right there, Court.
that's why
That's it.
folks overdosing on fentanyl because that fentanyl has something different, I guess, because they'll risk their life for it.
Well, Eddie, it's
Uh,
kind of like you know when uh you used to eat 6 honey buns, but that wasn't enough for you, so then you went to a dozen. So it's kind of
Tell you
similar to
one
that.
thing, AV. What? Hey, son, come here, boy. Me and my boy had a deal the other day. We went and got Krispy Kreme donuts.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
how many donuts did we eat the other night, boy? Come tell the geek and everybody hello, man. You don't want to be on here. There go your boy. Look at Evie. Look at him. Can you see him?
What up, boy?
Yo.
Looking like your daddy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, look, me and this boy, he'll knock out a dozen donuts now. Good old half a
oh,
gallon
he
of
gonna
milk.
eat eight himself.
Yes,
Ain't
sir.
ain't
Easy.
eating eight.
Hey, be honest. Be honest. He trying to say, see, like parents do this. This is another thing we talk about parents. Be honest. It's 12 donuts. He ate 10. You ate two. Just be honest.
Mm-mm.
I just be honest.
See,
Got a
I
high
can get some
metabolism.
donuts and stack them, and then
Huh?
drizzle some chocolate syrup on them.
Tell him how you do it,
I
boy.
ain't never heard of that.
Nah, that's not crazy. That's not crazy. Two donuts stacked on top. Drizzle some chocolate syrup on it. That jump be
Oh, y'all
good.
different. Y'all
Yes,
y'all
sir.
different over there.
Y'all over there.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Y'all,
one thing for sure, man. You gotta have the milk with it, man. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
give me the charger, son, for my laptop go off.
Hey, but you know what though? That's how it is though. Hey, I
hey,
got this. I got five good offers. I want the one Sanaa Murray got. Why I
That's
can't get
it,
them?
right there.
well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
And
right there, Corey.
we
Yeah.
want to welcome Quincy and Q. You got anything to add to the parent?
Yeah, man.
Because I know you
My
jumped in.
opinion, yeah, I had to get in on this because I've been struggling with it for a couple of years. But I mean, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of time people really don't know what level their kid is actually on.
Mm.
Um,
That's it.
and so you know,
Oh, this for both.
while you might be playing, alongside a girl with, what I'm saying, D1 offers, you know, you just don't have, I mean, coaches look for different things, different intangibles in play, different, attributes. You know what I'm saying? You might not have, what I'm saying, what she got, and that's okay, and it can be okay. And I tell my girls all the time, be ready when your number is called because you just never know,
Come on now,
That's
Mm.
it.
Shaw.
when it's
Oh,
time
that's
to
deep.
perform.
That's deep. Hey, that's deep
Can
right there, Coach.
can I make an
Hey, tell him.
example though? Can I make an
Yeah, go
example
ahead,
right
Cole, because
quick?
I was just gonna say that about like,
An
who I think you
example
can talk about.
example is Zaria Brown from Starkville, a 2027 kid that played good all weekend for us in Hampton, Virginia. Um, if you would have seen her at another game, you would have offered her too. But you seen her, and she had a segment where she hit some shots. She played D. She got grabbed some good rebounds, made some good passes, played some incredible basketball, right? But the segment was very, very small. A college coach that know how to evaluate can see a kid when they good. That's what you gotta hope for in this thing. It ain't really all of a sudden about your kid being what like your kid is a certain level, right? But be hopeful that your kid can put together some of that body of work. That body of work in one game, which I'm gonna be honest, and then the parents gonna be like, "Dang, you lying." We was losing this game. It's the only loss we had in the whole time. We losing this game. This kid pick up a powerful offer. Like so, like the trust the process thing. Yes, it sounds corny, but sometimes you need to because that kid just stuck with it, played her consistent basketball all that weekend, and got the old miss off. Did nobody say? Did nobody pick up a phone book and say, "Hey, let me pick what offer you. I'm gonna give you this weekend to put it out on social media." No, she deserved it. She earned it, and she got it. And she had a great segment of basketball that showed her intangibles what she can do on the court for that level. That's what it's about. Go out there and continue to play. If you down 30, down 40, whatever, you losing, you winning, you only get 5 minutes because you never know who just like, hey, I like that kid right there. Who is that? But parents don't understand that, and they go on and on about, oh, my kid should get this. But what you telling your kid? Shoot the ball
And
every
look,
time they missing. They're not hitting consistent jump shots. They're not playing defense consistently. They're not making the right basketball play.
Well, here's the thing.
Zara,
Let me
hold on,
jump in.
hold on, V. Hold on, V. I'm gonna be rude. I just because I ain't because you go stay on course. But I gotta say this, Gino. What do you do for a living? If you don't mind me asking.
Drive trucks.
You drive trucks,
Yeah.
18 wheelers, or you drive
Yeah,
commercial
18.
18 wheelers.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even begin to even know how to drive an 18 wheeler truck. Let me ask you this: uh, Could a barber who's only cut hair have any idea of what it is to drive a professional truck for a professional company? He's never driven a truck before in his life. All he does is he's cut hair for 20 years. How successful is he gonna be at driving a truck if you put him in your truck tonight?
And look, man, he might not be able to crank it up. Like, for real, honest.
And see right there, coach, we got too many parents who have never ran, they've never coached a city league, they've never coached upward, they've never ran a program before, they've never ran an AAU team, they've never coached. And parents should be just that, court, Gino Q. Parents should be parents. Let your coaches run the team. Let your club directors run the team. Let the people who we don't go into no doctor's office and tell the surgeon, man, don't use that. What's the thing that they do when they first put the incision in, or they don't tell them which type of insulin or which type of what the thing they put in your arm, EV. You know what I'm talking about?
IV and the
Yeah,
scalpel. You trying to,
right.
yeah.
I ain't going doing all that stuff, man. I'm off my soapbox. Back to our, go ahead, coach. I cut you off. And again, I keep saying I'm gonna stop doing this, EV, and I'm trying, but I'm gonna stop. Now you go ahead. I'm back on mute, man.
Okay. As we welcome in Thomas Snacks Lee, ESPN ESPY Award winner. What's up, Snacks?
What going on, Geeker?
We're just talking about chilling, man. We're talking about the role of parents and so for those of you who come in at this moment, is we're not beating parents up. We've already talked about who the so we named some positive parents. Uh, but what we're talking about now are some of the pitfalls. One of the things that we have in this generation, everybody talks about a spirit of entitlement. And to be honest with you, it comes from the adults too. We all are entitled. We feel like we just do what we want to do and this, that, and the other. And so it's something. I remember back and I was speaking to a school in 2009, and the Lord spoke to me and said, there's a spirit of whatever that's being unleashed on the world. And that's where we are right now. It started a while back. It's like whatever goes, and whatever's clever, and what we're saying is, it's really refreshing when you have a parent that is more like a crock pot versus a microwave. They want it boom now. Everybody wants it right now versus allowing in the crock pot where the juices can continue. You don't lose the flavor. Whereas at a microwave, everything is just zap, zap, zap. And everybody, when we talk about there's, as the kids say, there's levels to this. And everybody's not going to be a power 4/power 5/power 4 kid, because one of the reasons right now that Sanaa Murray is we'll use her for an example, is a power 5 kid, a bona fide power 5 kid, is because she's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". Any day you look at it, who with a very, very good skill set. One of the reasons that Zaria Brown right now has a P4 Power 5 offer is because when you look at her, you can see she's a big guard at almost 6 feet. Fran Kelly has at 5'10", she has two Power 5 offers. Shamar Morton at 6'2" uh, has some Power 5 offers. You look at Meg Moore, who at the end of the day, at 6 feet in the ninth grade, she has several Power 5 offers. And that's because they look the part, they have the skill set, uh, and that is why they are Power 5. Then you have somebody like a Jada Gay, uh, who is 6'4". Uh, she has a Power 5 body. She just hadn't gotten the Power 5 offers yet. And so there's a lot of dynamics when you get in. Then you have the next level, which is a mid-major Division One level and low major. And it's nothing wrong with that. The key is now you want to get there's money at all those different levels. And you want to get you want to make sure that you uh, just I like identify where your child is. It's okay to have the goal of getting to the best level possible. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, one of my favorite things, and they was mimicking me today, Snacks. I have this. There's a lot of kids that can go sit on the bench at Mississippi State and Ole Miss in our state. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. There are several, but sometimes it's about best fit. What is their best fit? Meaning, where are they going to go and really be able to perform right away? Snacks, jump in and talk to us a little bit about your thought on the state of parents today.
Um, I think, like you said, you got different parents. But I also think that, like, you know, as they navigate through the process, like, everybody want their child best interest. So I mean, you can't necessarily, like, blame parents for trying to put their kids in the best position and trying to do what they feel like is best for their child. But at the same time, parents, of course, should have the wisdom and you know to be able to trust others with expertise, quality expertise that's been proven time after time to help them, kind of navigate the process. But I mean, I don't think that, like, what I'm saying. I think it's always multiple ways and avenues to get something done. Cause I mean, they made cars, but you don't see everybody around here driving cars. Some driving trucks, some driving vans, SUVs. So, but we all trying to get to a destination. So I don't think that it's always got to be about a book way to do it per se. But I definitely think that, like, there's nothing wrong with leaning on, people with the intangibles and the quality level expertise to help them, get to where they're trying to go. But like you say, I think now in a case to where parents may, like, speed up their child's like, long term, then I can kind of get what you're saying. As far as, like, some parents may try to live through their child, or they may try to, like, not, try to get what they can get now, and then they may hinder their child development where they can be by the time that, they make them peak too early by trying to get the most out of them now. So I understand that aspect too. So I definitely think that, patience is a main component of it all, and at the same time, like, just trust too. Because I mean, it's good to, to say that the parent can get out the way, of the parent can just be in their role, but a level of trust has to be there too. Because I mean, they only really get one true shot at their process. Like, who's to say that one of the other kids down the line may get an opportunity? Or I mean, like you say, it's just different. I mean, it's just different. Each scenario will be different.
Anybody else want to add to that? Anything else on the parents we want to go in? Anything else that we want to
I just say if you're a parent, just make sure that the kid wants it as much or more than you, because that's another thing I see too nowadays. These kids really don't want it. The parents want it more than the kids do a lot of times, and I think it's important for you really start to invest a lot of time with your child. Really, and I don't know if a lot of parents do this. And again, y'all know me and what I do. I deal with a lot of kids from the 5 year olds on up. I don't know if a lot of parents really have that question or if they really have that conversation with their child to see if their uh, desires are to play college basketball, to play professionally, to play, So I think parents got to do a better job of getting a clarity on what it is and really not just hearing the kid saying that they want it, but them showing you that they really want it, and not investing in the kids that just don't have the desire. Because we do see a lot of that too. Parents are invested; they want it. Kids just don't want it as bad as the parents. And I think that
Now,
causes.
one parent, I'm gonna cut you off, Eddie. One parent commented on. I was looking on my Facebook. They said a lot of them now invested, now more invested because there's a lot more money to invest. So they said they put money into it, so they gonna have a little bit more say, I guess, or they're gonna, be involved. And so, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I just think like we know a couple of personal situations, where kids have been dictated on what college that they're choosing based on what the parents are pretty much dictating the college choice for their child. What happens is when that child goes and they don't do well, or things don't go the way they planned it, then they're gonna come back and say, well, they're gonna be mad at the parent. So, it's just a thing where I think you help nurture their decision to what school they're going to select, be there for them, give them all the resources, be prayerful that they make the right decision and stay inside God's perfect will. But you cannot dictate where your child, where you can encourage it, you can give your opinion, but I think you can't, that's the right word, you can't force it. Because there's a couple of players, and we ain't gonna get into it and call any names, who might be pros if they make better, if their parents are not. So I don't know. I don't even know I don't want to get into that, but sometimes leading your child to certain situations because what you think is best for them might cost your child in the long run. And sometimes there's kids that have resentment for parents who making their choices for their careers and forcing them to go to schools that they're really not wanting to go to. So I think that ultimately that decision to me got to be made by that child at the end of the day.
Well, the end of the day, we can move on because parents gonna be parents. You got parents spending thousands of dollars on prom for one day. They spend thousands of dollars, put them in their little micro truck. What that little truck called? They gonna rent that out. They're gonna get the little expensive bow ties and the dresses. So they just, everybody want their kid to look good. Everybody want their kid to get the best of the best. So it's just what it is. This is the side that we in. Everybody want to look good for the social media, and a one day thing. It don't matter what it is. Everybody want to look like they $1 million. So that's just what it is.
Well, I'm gonna shift gears real quick, and I'm getting ready to surprise you guys probably because I said to myself that I wasn't gonna be overly long tonight.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip into. We're gonna do one of our shorter shows because it feels like we just getting going. You know what I mean? I mean, we've only been going an hour and 15 minutes, but unfortunately, we're gonna leave it that, and people can come back and check it out. So, with that being said, we'll have our last geeks of the evening. You can say it a little longer if you whatever you want to geek on tonight. You can have that a little longer. Whatever your geek. What's your geek? The last geek of the night. We'll start with you, Quincy. And then is Gino still here? Gino still? Yep. Go Gino, and then we go Snacks, and then Cord, and then Eddie, and then we'll finish it up.
Yeah, I just want to say that for all the naysayers that said we couldn't do it and we were gonna be disorganized, and I'm speaking on Mississippi All In.
Yes, sir.
The train is moving fast. We covering the state. We covering the nation. the southeast, we covering the west coast, we moving. And so our program been performing. The work speak for itself, and it's only gonna get better with time. Cause we all win when we all in.
There you go.
Amen.
Okay. Okay, Q. We all win when we all
I'm
in.
in the geek. I'm in it.
Okay. We said we weren't gonna ruffle no feathers, but I can live with that. That ain't bad. We're gonna ruffle
Yeah.
some anyway. Go ahead, Gino.
Q,
Can't hear you.
Q on that drink tonight,
You on that what?
but nah, man, I just Q they got him a drink or something tonight, don't it? But nah, man, I just want to say it was a good show tonight, man. You know, really, uh, it was a good show. It was a lot of gems out there for the listeners, man. For the good information. They tuning in. We're gonna keep dropping gems for everybody. To get better in their process thing, man. That's all.
Snacks.
Yeah, man. Kudos to y'all. What y'all doing on y'all side with ensuring that y'all putting the athletes, where they need to be. Um, Shout out to SIP United. I think we've been doing a good job um, with being able to get the guys that we wanted and be able to take them out. We had some good showings in our first couple of sessions.
Talk
So,
a little bit more. Expound on that. Snacks. Talk about who SIP United is, and obviously Tunde Wade, which is Tatum and Wade Law Firm, is a big part of that, and along with you and some other guys. So talk a little bit about that.
oh yeah, like you said, our director, Mr. Thunder Wade, has done a spectacular job of forming a lot of the basketball faces as well as people that have had an integral role in the men's side together. And we have a 15, 16, 17 youth. Um, and all three of the groups have done well. I think in our two Puma sessions we played so far, I think our 15U is 7-1, our 16U is 7-1, and our 17U they just played their first one and they went 3-1. So um, I definitely think that that's been a tremendous start. Of course, some of the key names that have kind of stood out are key guys that have been performing well. Of course, with the 17U, Sam Fontes, Mason Williams, they've done very well. Blake Nettles, Ethan Long has got hurt, but he was playing very very well. We wishing him a speedy recovery. Um, and then for the 16U, we got of course from Columbus. I know my guy Gino, boy, he been playing very very well. Um, Braxton Ward from Callaway, Deshaun Dillon from Northwest Rankin, those guys. Even guys like JB from Northwest Rankin and Jeff Flanagan from Madison Central. A couple of guys that's kind of been around. I think we did a good job of being able to get all the guys that we wanted. So, and our 15U, Coach Rose coached the 15, and Andre Stringer coached the 16, and Coach Green is coaching the 17. So, we definitely got a nice little nucleus of basketball minds. So it's been great so far.
Right, along with yourself, who's a part of that staff, Yusuf Fitzgerald and Lamar Roy. I think you guys, shout out to SIP United, who is doing on the boys' side what we've been, trying to do on the girls' side here, and just uniting the state. And so, uh, definitely a shout out to uh, Tunde Wade and Company. One of the things, Tunde Wade, he does a lot of stuff. I mean, you see his law firm out there a lot, but he does a lot of stuff for a lot of kids, girls and guys, and just people, man, just a first class individual. And a lot of stuff wouldn't get done in our great state, without his help. So we appreciate, the likes of the Tunde Wades. Cordarius Jones, what's your last week, Navy?
You know, I got to shout out Mississippi All In. I got to do it. Been getting a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people that's not in the organization, just outside looking in. We doing things the right way. Our coaching staff is top notch. Shout out to the coach Ashley Daniels, the AJs, the coach Gabe, Eddie, Coach Holbert, coach the other coach CJ that came with us in Hampton. Um, Shout out to Brian Rucker, Gino, Coach Q, Coach Quincy, and anybody that I'm missing that's part of like Gabe staff or up Brian Rucker staff, Coach Suggs. Man, we got an army, man. That's what it's about. We trying to do it the right way. We trying to make sure we uh represent the girls basketball the right way. And it just is what it is, man. We got the right people. Point blank period. So if you don't want nobody dancing all your highlight videos, come to Mississippi All In. We're gonna get it done. All right. That's all I say. I ain't
Oh
gonna be
man.
in your highlight video. I might not even take a picture. Here we go. Go ahead,
Man, shout out to Mississippi All In. Just happy to be a part of a lot of the recent success from the program. Um, Program is definitely in a really good space right now. Shout out to SIP United. Snack, like Snack said, there's a lot of really good guys. A lot of these young kids that I've seen grow up in my youth basketball league. To see them develop and get success now, and what y'all doing over there, man. Kudos to y'all, Snacks, and what you guys are doing, man. Y'all definitely representing the state. I see a lot of the social media stuff that y'all doing and how the program is being marketed, man. Really, brings a joy to my heart to see that, to see the unity of the brethren over there. And you guys, from what I've, from outside looking in, don't seem like y'all had a lot of issues within the program. Of course, you're dealing with parents and trying to nurture, on the boys' side, man, y'all got it. That's one of the reasons why I got off the boys' side, because trying to manage the boys' parents, especially some of the ones with the elite kids, can be a job in itself. You got a lot of um, high caliber boys, athletes, and you have to manage those parents and keep them happy. So that in itself is a job. So y'all seem to be doing a pretty good job of holding it all together. Y'all, it looks like y'all got everybody that y'all went after for the most part. Maybe one or two you might have missed, but y'all definitely got an all-star cast of folks that are doing it the right way. So man, that's good. We definitely rooting on y'all, and y'all Mississippi boys basketball is in a good place, especially under direction and leadership of Coach Wade, who's done it before. This ain't his first rodeo. He's done it before at a high level, and he's a great leader to have. And so beyond that, man, just wishing everybody a successful rest of the year. Uh, for the kids that are about to return from injuries, this next tournament and next live period, we praying that you guys, go out and be able to perform. I know for the rising seniors, this time is kind of winding down. Stay encouraged, uh, uh, and just we're just wishing for a prayerful, praying that the rest of this season be one uh, of success, traveling grace for a lot of people that are flying, driving to all these tournaments that are way off. Now, I mean, I remember the day court you go to an event, be there in 3 or 4 hours. I mean, everywhere you go now, it seems like you got to fly or drive 15, 16 hours. So, traveling grace for y'all program, Snacks, traveling grace for our program. Shout out to Gino and Q. You guys have been a great asset to Mississippi All In. Y'all have helped grow this program to what it is today, and we thankful for y'all, man. And just also shout out to you, EV. Take a lot of flack, but you really keep this thing together. You try to keep us under control, best you can. You at least try, and but also, man, just a great guy, great leader, uh, that takes and devotes a lot of time away from your family to give back to kids. So praying that you continue to be success in everything that you touch turns into gold. But other than that, core, that's all I got, man. Wishing everybody a good rest of the night, good rest of the week, and we all in.
I want to shout out a couple things, and I'm gonna rush through this. I want to talk about a few things real quick. those of you who are coming back from injuries this year, don't come back too soon. Unfortunately, we've had some in girls basketball. There are a lot of, little minor injuries, especially if you have things with the knee, ankle. There's no need, especially younger players. There's no real need for you to come back and play in the summer if you don't have to. So I would encourage, if you're injured, there's a difference between you got a little pain or something. But if there's an injury, that's something you don't want to risk, because that's just something I want to say about the injuries piece. As far as the basketball, I want to give a shout out to all the 4-year college coaches in our state. I give a shout out to all the JUCO coaches on the men's and women's side. I think, shout out to all the new coaches. Several teams got new coaches. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the high school coaches. You've just finished a long year. We want to give you a shout out. Obviously, we want to shout out all the AAU programs. So I want to name some ones that, obviously, it's not a secret. We're part of Mississippi All In. We have our things to do with SIP United, but I want to shout out some other ones. On the girls' side, we want to shout out Sisterhood. We want to shout out MTP. On the boys' side, we want to shout out MCE, Chris Ellis. Chris Ellis does a great job every year, man. He has, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't seen too many guys like him. He just takes whatever lot he's given, and he just comes into the NBA. When I see him, man, they dressed in. He's the first person I've seen dressed in all type of Army fatigue. I don't even know what colors his uniform is, but I'm telling you, man, they come out in practice, and so I just give him a shout out along with NBA hoops. I think Julian has taken over from our role. And so as we continue to try to navigate through this whole thing within our state, it still is the same motto, man. We all in when we all win when we're all in. And so that is something that if we really lock into that and really buy into that, it will benefit all of our kids, because at the end of the day, there's nobody on this program here, even though in their own place, that doesn't want to see everybody win, regardless if they are with a particular program or not. So that's the thing. But I want to tell a story. This last thing, a quick story about a young lady that goes to my school. Her name is Conley Langford. She's not only an all-star, all-conference basketball player at the W here. Unbelievable student, 4.0. And if any kid is listening to this, and I'm gonna get her on the show to tell the story. I called her one day recently, and I said, Conley, school is getting ready to be out. Conley has nothing but all A's. And this blessed the mess out of me. It blessed me so much, I called my 19-year-old daughter at Ole Miss. She said, I'm going to the writing center. Boy, I feel God. That's what I'm telling the story. To get 5, I said, why are you going? She said, if I go, I'll get an additional 5 points. She said, now I want you to understand, this girl has an A in the class. She's getting ready to take her final. She is so meticulous in her thinking. She already knows if she gets a 51.4, it will take her grade down to a B, as in boy. And so she's so serious about this thing. She says, I'm going. She says, the people will give me a 5 points, 5, if I just show up. Now, can I just be honest with you? If I got an A in the class, one, I might not even take the final. But she's going, Snacks, Eddie, across campus to get 5 points. And so when I ask her about it, she comes back at me and says, well, I couldn't live with myself. When down the road, I can't live with the regret years from now, down the road, that there was 5 points out there and I didn't get them. She talking about she don't want to lose her 4.0 that bad, Eddie. She would walk across campus. And so I said, Conley, you got to be kidding. It's 5 points. I said, she said, then she told me this. She goes into just arguing with me. She's going to be a pharmacist. It's crazy. I think she should be a lawyer. She says to me, well, you don't know what the teacher is going to put on the test. He could ask what the name of his dog is. And so I stepped back. I said, well, Connie, what's the lowest grade that you got this year on the test? And she chuckled and said, a 96. Now, the girl that got her lowest grade is a 96. I hope y'all get this. But she is wondering about 5 points. That right there, my friend, when we talk about everything that we talked about tonight, those are the type, and she's playing at this level, but those are the type of kids. I call my daughter, I said, you got to listen to this. She has a level of greatness that me, EV, at 55 years of age, certain things that she got, I wouldn't have done that. She's got something I don't have. So I encourage you, are you going to walk across campus and get your 5 points, even though you got an A? That makes you different. No excuses. Integrity, high character. For the easy one, for Cord, for Shoes in his absence, for Talante in his absence, for Snacks, for Q, for Gino. Have a good night.